What's up, guys? We're back for another episode of Dollface, the after show, the official after show here on AfterBuzz TV. This is season 1, episode 4, entitled Fun Friend. The cool mom is in town, and Madison decides to make Izzy her project. And also, is Jules the boring friend? We'll find out. Stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, we're back with another episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the Dollface After Show. I am your host, Tyra Prude. We are here to break down another episode of this amazing show on Hulu. Joining me are my lovely co-hosts. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jenny.
I'm Kay Montgomery.
And again, I'm Tyra, aka Izzy. So guys, we have a jam-packed show for you guys, but before we get into some overall thoughts, we are going to give a little rundown of what we're going to be discussing. So first, we have to dive into Stella's mom. She's in town and she just like rocks up, the friend group. We also have to talk about white powder. Was that racist? And then we're going to get into the crazy experience that Stella and Jules had on this boat in London, in Izzy's London Mystery Man. So overall thoughts, how did you guys feel about this episode?
I loved this ep. I loved the branding aspect of it. I thought that was really interesting, and like giving each girl in the friend group a personality. I thought that was really cool, and then loved the fun stuff with the mom, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got really strong Clueless vibes, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
I felt like it was a little bit when Cher and Dion remake Ty's character.
Yeah.
That's what it felt very much so. Like that's what Madison was doing to Izzy this episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good episode too. I loved getting that kind of backstory. I feel like we got a little bit on why Stella is the way she is, with her mom coming into town and being, the crazy hip mom. And then, I really loved how Madison, stepped up to the plate of being there for Izzy. Like we discussed, in other episodes, Izzy is kind of like that lost friend. So for her to not really know her, that well and want to take her under her wing, I thought that was really sweet. And then she also saved the day for her at work. So it was amazing. But so let's go ahead and just start talking about Stella's mom. So Stella's mom, Terry, is the cool mom. She came into town and she likes to turn up. So Stella goes into detail about her mom, and she shares that her mom had her at a very young age, and because of that, she missed out on a lot in life. So she's trying to like recover from it all, and that puts Stella in a weird place because she in a way feels responsible, and she feels that she's obligated to give her mom her youth back. So every time she's with her mom, it's like this turn up party, and this episode she specifically chose Jules to be the turn-up partner because Jules is known as the boring friend. So she thought that Jules was going to come in and lessen the load on her, and they weren't going to be out long. It was going to be like, this is my boring friend. She's not going to want to turn up, so we'll be able to go home quickly, and mom, your vacation is cut short. And then Jules ends up being super fun. Like she felt like she had a point to prove when it was known that she was the boring friend. How did you guys feel about how all of that went down with Jules, with the mom? Were you expecting her mom to be that kind of hip, crazy mom, and for Jules to kind of step out of her comfort zone? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
I actually didn't really expect her mom to be that hip and crazy because Stella was so crazy. So I thought her mom might be super strict and Stella rebels. So I thought it was an interesting twist that she was this crazy, fun, cool mom, and they kind of clashed in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, too. I know back in episode, I think it was 2, when she was talking to Izzy, she was like, my parents, were backup dancers for Madonna, and they barely knew each other, and they conceived me on, a transatlantic flight, and it was, you know what I mean? So I was just like, ooh, how's that mom gonna be,
Exactly.
So that was interesting that she felt like you said, that Stella took some of her childhood. It was great to see Tia Carrera, who's another 1980s star.
Yes,
they just
we
keep
need a
bringing them in.
1980s pop quiz. And she is going to memorize it and know everything.
Yeah, when I was like, Tia Carrera, what? She used to be she was huge in the 1980s, especially. So that was exciting to see her in that aspect. I felt like they could have lit her a lot better, but that's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that Jules was fighting real hard to be the boring friend, but she still ended up being the boring friend because she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I got super drunk. And she was like, no, it was fine. I ended up having to take you home, and that ended the party sooner than it would if my mom would have stayed out.
Literally 25 minutes, so you're still...
That was so funny because she thought she was lit. You know, she was like,
did.
sorry, I got so wasted. No, you didn't.
She's like,
you tried, sweetie.
You tried, and it was still a fail. But yeah, going back to just like Stella's upbringing, I don't know, knowing that story of how, you know, her mom and dad conceived her and all of that, you could tell that they're kind of like this free-spirited kind of family, I would think, or just like spontaneous, live life on the whim. So I wasn't surprised that her mom was that way. I didn't know it was that way to a certain extent, but you know, it gives me those vibes that she just grew up in kind of like a cool, hip environment. But I liked how we dug deeper in her character because, you know, she's never been the one to really have problems. She's the one who's like, you know, she likes to travel, she likes to do this, and she likes to do that. So for us to see in this episode that, you know, she has issues just like everyone else was really cool to see.
And that she wants to go to business school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And instead of her mom being like, awesome, her mom was like, business school?
Right. So it seems like, I don't know, it's like in a way she needs them her friend group to keep her on track because she's not getting that from her parents because, you know, all they know is, you know, backup dancing for Madonna and living tour life. So,
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting part of her, how she was kind of insecure about how people see her intelligence-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, because she was like, I'm more than just a good time girl. Like, I can be smart and I want to do all these other things. And
is that a thing? Like, if you like to, like, hang out and, like, you know, party with friends, like, does that make you not as smart as someone who's always buried in the books? I think balance is important. I don't know. What are you guys' opinion on that?
I think that's the perception.
Yeah.
Especially among women. Because, I mean, that's the great thing about this show, right? Is because in society, society constantly wants to put women in like a certain box. So I do feel like if you're the good time girl, you know, you can't also be smart. You know what I mean? It's that old, you know, Madonna versus whore, the whole like really old trope of like a woman can be this one thing. You know?
But then a few of my friends are like partiers, but they're the smartest people I know.
Yeah.
But I also think it's because they're out in the world, like experiencing things also and like meeting different people and like feeding off all these different people and opinions and energies. They're like experiencing the world and not just like in their book all day and not.
Yeah. So there's a
like
such
street
thing as
smart.
balance. And speaking of balance, I hope you guys have a balance while you guys are tuning into us and partying and living your best life.
Doing it all.
Doing it all.
Yeah.
Kay, would you like to let them know how they can stay tuned with us at AfterBuzz?
Yes, we're so grateful for you guys making us the ESPN of TV talk, and we have 3 ways that you can support us, which is really awesome. If you're watching now on YouTube, you can go ahead and give us a subscription. Subscribe to us. If you're listening to us on a podcast, you can give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. And no matter if you're watching or if you're listening, we always love to get your comments. So make sure to give us a comment. And being a part of AfterBuzz, I know means a lot to every panelist that we have today. It's huge for us. We love to do what we do and bring great shows and content to you. We love you guys as super fans. And we want to thank Kevin and Maria, who are our founders, for creating this platform for us.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you, Maria and Kevin. Thank you for the ding. And yeah, we love you guys, and we love to be here talking about our favorite TV shows. So let's go ahead and talk about white powder. So I'm gonna let you guys take this away because I was quite, kind of confused on what was going on here. But there was not a party. There was a work meeting, and they were promoting this new aspect of the company. Take it away if you want to, guys.
Yeah. So I just thought Womb had a new product. I see Womb a lot like kind of a parody to Gloop. You know what I mean? I think of it Goop to Goop. Sorry, Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. I see it like a comparable, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So especially with the whole crystal thing, and they're selling all kinds of stuff,
Right.
So they were selling this product called white powder because they were like, white is clean, it's pure, it's all these different things. But then when they put the girl up to like advertise it, she's wearing all white and she's standing in front of white powder, but she's in front of the D, so it looks like white
But
power.
her arm was kind of like trying to make the D, right? Or something like that.
So it looks like white power. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then they were all just sitting there like in complete and total shock, you know? And she's like, I really want feedback. I think that the boss is hilarious because she was saying things in such a shady way. Like, she wanted feedback, but she really didn't want feedback. She wanted them to fix it without doing anything. She wanted them to, like, amen everything she was saying without any pushback.
She just didn't know what like, I don't think she saw it as, this is low-key not it. We need to change the name because this is going to be, you know, looked at as racist. I think, you know, she's just so zen and kind of just
oblivious and
so I think she just honestly didn't know what was going on.
No, she didn't realize what was going on, but also she didn't want them to give her any real feedback.
Yeah.
Because she kept telling them to give her feedback, but then not to give her feedback.
It's like she just thought she had to say that. Like, feel free to give me feedback. And then just doesn't really want it.
Doesn't really want it. Thanks
Mind.
for talking.
Right.
I was like, they didn't say anything. I thought it was really funny how she was like, well, don't you want Allison B to go on this project? Because she's the only brown person at the table.
Right.
And Allison B was like, why do you think I should take it?
Exactly.
Like, you know,
it was
that part was so funny.
It was
I was
a
like,
very
this is funny.
weird situation. And with that, after she, you know, felt that it was amazing, she threw it on to Izzy and she was like, you know what, this is your project, you take it on. And then with that, Izzy is left like, I don't know what to do. You know, she's kind of just always all over the place in the mix. So to have something, you know, on her own, I think she just got really frantic. So she called in Madison. And needless to say, Madison came in, you know, she literally said, this is racist as SHIT. And then she like rebrand the whole thing so it fit, you know, in a better perspective and way.
Right.
And through that, you know, the team loved it. And that's when she was like, you know what, Izzy, I need to work with you. We're going to do a whole personal rebranding thing. Since you're going to be in our group now, I need to help you. And she took her under her wing. How did you guys feel about that whole interaction and, you know, her willingness to bring out something that she clearly sees in Izzy and she wants to help her become her own person?
I thought the PowerPoint was hilarious. I like recorded it with my phone because I thought it was so funny. Where Brenda's song was like, what's your favorite season? And Izzy was like, fall. And like, it was just so, Izzy had the PowerPoint.
Icon?
Yeah. Kendall Jenner. And she was like, you're too basic. But then Izzy's like, do you think Izzy really is that basic, or she thought she was supposed to say that because she wants to fit in?
Exactly.
I think that's what it is, because she doesn't know how to be her own. So she's just like, oh, this is what the crowd thinks is popular. So boom, these are the people that you want to hear about.
Right. Yeah, no, that was hilarious when she was just like, oh, honey, you're so basic. Like, you gotta know. Yeah. And we see Izzy's personality, so we know she's a total weirdo.
Right.
There's no way that your style icon is Kendall Jenner.
There's no way. You don't even dress like.
We know you like much weirder things.
Yeah, I feel like she's always in like a button up or something or a sweater.
Yeah. I'm excited to get to the weirdness that is the true Izzy, but that is what gave me real Thai clueless vibes. Is I was like, she is clueless.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm apparently Izzy on the BuzzFeed. Oh my God. But yeah, it was really cool to see her, you know, kind of take her under her wing and, you know, just mold her into, you know, a person that, I don't know, someone better or great.
Right. Well, by coming up with another fictitious story, though, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes. Okay. So you guys want
we're going to rebrand you and give you a whole new start with another lie.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All
so
they do is lie.
This London man. Okay. So she said that she had a crazy incident with him. What was up with that?
That was so funny, that whole, like, I lived abroad and got a stalker.
Right.
But
all the girls liked her for it.
Yeah.
But then are we teaching everyone to lie?
They totally bought it. I was like, is this going to work?
Right.
But they loved it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
At least they love her storytelling skills, I guess.
I don't know if that necessarily helped her, but I mean, hey, you know, do what you have to do to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I feel like in the future they're going to ask her something about London and she's not going to know.
Yeah, right.
Right. No, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. But speaking of that, so we also, you know, Madison is working on Izzy. And then we also see Jules trying to, like, you know, work on herself. And she really took to heart that they thought that she was the boring friend. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to show them. I'm going to invite, Stella out. I'm going to invite her to this spot. I'm fun. Let me find like a cool place to take her so we can go out and party, blah, blah, blah. And then what was funny, I liked how she was like Googling things to go, and literally all the results came up like boring places. Like, go to the library, do this. And she's just like, no, I am cool. Needless to say, she finds a spot, and, she works so hard to get them in just for Stella to already know the owner, and she had already been to the grand opening and all of this crazy stuff. So do you think Jules, like, just tried too hard? Like, with those being her friends, does she need to prove to them that she's not the boring friend? Like, they clearly like her for who she is. So why do you think she had to go that extra mile? Maybe, I don't know, do you think she was proving it to herself, or?
Well, I liked when she and Stella they were at a cafe or something, and they were talking about, and Stella was like, no, you're not boring. I just like that you're real.
Yeah.
So, I think you have more like normal friends, doesn't necessarily, maybe they're more boring than you, but you obviously like her for a reason. So I feel like she should just be herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that at the top of the episode too, someone said to her, you're boring. It doesn't mean you're bad. And so I was like, yeah, embrace that. But I think we do that a lot of times. Somebody tells us, makes us see ourselves one way, and we're like, no, I'm not like that. I'm really friendly, or I'm a hoot, or, whatever. I think that everybody has that in one way or another. I will say I felt personally attacked when she was Googling great things to do or best things to do, like something. Yes. And it brought up the Great British Baking Show. It was no, you're not looking for the greatest place to party. You're looking for the greatest British baking show.
Oh my God.
And she was like, I wasn't. But okay, I did want to watch episode 2. And
we'll finish this later.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I love the Great British Baking Show, you guys.
That hit home for you.
I am Jules.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, maybe. I guess we have
the quiz was right.
I think
I don't
safely
think
in your
so.
space.
Izzy. Don't think so. But okay, so even with that, their night was far from boring. They ended up on this boat, and they were like, I can't remember where they were going, but they ended up being stranded on this boat, and they didn't know how they got on. They didn't know where they were going. They just got caught up on this boat. Yeah. How did you guys feel about that? Or I don't know, how did you react to that when they're just on this boat and it just starts sailing off?
I was really stressed, especially because he said it was going to Alaska.
Oh, that's where it was going.
And I was like, are they going to get on a jet ski? Like, how?
Yeah, how is that going to happen?
She's like stuck with Stella, wild card. I was like, oh, that made me stressed. Being out at sea, I cannot.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I loved when the boat just started moving, and you realize it's not the club that they thought, right? Because they're like, where's the bar? And the guys were like,
right.
And she was like, the ratio in here is really good. That was so funny. Because when I used to go out, I'm married, and I've been married forever. But when we used to go out, that was a huge thing, was like, how's the ratio in this place?
There's always so many more women than men, and it's just...
So it's like one cute guy.
Right.
So I love that.
And he has a girlfriend in the corner.
Right.
So I love that when they came in, they're like, the ratio in this place is great. Like, you're obviously the only 2 women on this entire craft.
It
was hilarious.
So
yeah,
it was very funny.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny how Stella like nearly gets married. They're both betrothed to some random fisher guys. Yeah, that whole little episode was really funny. Yeah.
It was very funny. But I don't have anything else to say. It was a lot of craziness that went on. Yeah, and I'm just excited to see what else happens. I'm excited to see how Izzy is going to evolve. I'm just, curious to see how this will play out. With that being said, do you guys want to go ahead and get into our special segment?
Sure. Our special segment today, Ovaries Before Broveries.
Woo!
Yeah. So we're talking about the best girl groups, best girl musical groups that we can think. I will go first.
Loving the song.
I want to say TLC.
Yes.
Okay.
One of my favorite, I believe one of the favorite. Also, Prince's favorite girl group of all time. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay.
If you want to say Prince was wrong, I guess you could, but...
Awesome.
It's not a contest.
Mine is the Spice Girls. To be Izzy basic, but I'm them for every Halloween. I'm a different Spice Girl every year.
What were you this year?
Which one was I? I was Posh.
Ooh.
And last year I was Ginger, and before that I was Scary. I've done this since I was like 12. I just love what they represent. They're like 90s feminist icons. Friendship never ends. I love them.
Yes. Okay, so I have two. I love SWV because I love the soulfulness. Week was my song, and I was like super young, but it's on my MySpace page, and I was like singing my heart out to it. And of course, Destiny's Child. I mean, come on, like independent woman, like all of that. I love them. So yeah, that was my favorite. Those were my favorite girl groups.
Nice.
Good. Both good choices, ladies.
Yes,
I love both.
good.
I love that.
All. But yeah, with that being said, guys, where can we find you guys on social?
Jenny Louise Austin.
I'm at Host K on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm on all social media platforms at _TyraPrude. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. We have another one coming soon, so make sure you tune in. See you guys later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.